One of my favorite books is a book called Legacy. It's about the All Blacks and how they had been an iconic team, and that had kind of lost their way, and then they had to rebuild. And when they rebuilt, they went back and studied their past. They have, I think it's 15 rules that they started to live by, and one of them was plant trees that you'll never see, and it's about leaving places better than you found them. And I was obviously disappointed after the game. I really wanted our seniors to have a chance to continue to battle and fight to be a CFP team. And you think about planting seeds that you'll never see. We're obviously disappointed about the game. We'll never accept losing. We'll never make excuses about losing. But I do want to say that I thought the effort of the guys that won't be here, in the future when all those things come to fruition, I thought the way they rallied around Dylan when he got hurt and then rallied around TJ, the way that they carried themselves, the way that they played, I think it's the first time that they've been held to 21 points this season. USC's offense was the first time that they've been held to 337 yards since 2023. I thought the way they fought and battled and competed for each other when they had some bad breaks, I think those are the things you can build off of. I thought what Troy Dannon and Courtney Gaucher and Brendan Meyer and marketing everyone did with the blackout will have a profound impact on what we're trying to get done moving forward. I thought our crowd, our student section, I'm standing out there with 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 4-star after 4-star, and saying, look at that student section. Guys said, I've never seen anything like it. And while we're disappointed, we still show up the next day to work and we meet with all the recruits and we talk to them, and they're ecstatic about what they saw here. And so I do think it's important, while we're disappointed and angry and upset, to also be very, very, very grateful for that atmosphere, for that crowd, for that opportunity. And I'm really proud of, to be quite honest, I didn't sleep on Saturday night, and I came in to watch the tape first thing, and some of the best football many of our guys have played. Significantly. And so we're sitting here at a crossroads right now as a team. And it's an unbelievable opportunity for us. See, if you go back to my first year at the press conference, what do they call it, the Big Ten Media Days? If you remember, which I probably don't, I said something like, we have to learn to get people to respect Husker football again. And we've had a chance to play Michigan, and we lost by 3 points. We had a chance to play USC, we lost by 4 points. So we have to chase those 3 points and those 4 points. We have to get better. We have to continue to recruit. We have to lift and run and do all those things. But I also think these next 3 games are some of the most important time for our team and for our program moving forward. This team, the guys that are here, they deserve to leave as winners. They've done everything we've asked them to do. And B, we have to on a national narrative, we have to become someone that people respect. And it starts with ourselves. When we respect ourselves and don't talk trash about ourselves and don't go out there and not do things right. Like when we do things at a high level, we show respect for our program and our future, then I think people nationally will. So I know for me this week, I'm going to do the best job I can for TJ Lateef, because leaders insert themselves in the point of friction and try to take stress off. And I know Sierra Wright, and I know Javen, and I know Deshaun, and I know Rocco and all those guys. Every single person in our organization is going to try to do a little bit more so that TJ Lateef can be successful. And I think we could be like an average team and just go out there and be disappointed, that we lost last week and have a bad week, or we could come together and unite. And so I told our guys, either you're in or you're out, and they've all said that they're in. And I would say that to everybody. It's going to take every single one of us. But people nationally will never respect us until we respect ourselves. And I'm talking about our conference, the decisions that they make. I'm talking about the national media. I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about recruits. We have to, in my opinion, at this time, come together and absolutely continue to sow seeds that will manifest themselves in the future. So I wanted my team to hear that. I believe 100% in TJ and what he's going to get done. And we're going to put a great game plan together for him. I hate it for Dylan. I love Dylan. If anyone says anything about Dylan, just know this. The kid had a broken leg, and he was warming up and begging me to play. That's all you got to know about that kid to know who he is. I got home that night. I didn't know when I was sitting here with you guys. I thought he had an ankle sprain. When I got home, and literally my daughter was the first person to tell me, because I go one way and my daughters were walking through, and they found out as he found out in the training room, and the doctor called me to tell me what character, what toughness, and I'm very grateful for him. grateful for like the O linemen who haven't gotten reps at tackle, and also they have to go out. Tyler has to go out and play tackle. So we'll come together as a team this week. Sorry for that being so long, but I thought I needed to at least address the positives from Saturday.
Does Dylan need surgery? Like, what is his road ahead?
Dylan will have surgery this week.
What is it exactly?
Broken fibula.
Right. Is that like, how many months would you say until he's full?
I don't want to start talking like I'm the doctor. I know when they told me, they said if it could be surgical, could be non-surgical. They said somewhere like 8 to 12 weeks, but I don't want to start getting into all that. But it is surgical. It was recommended surgery, so it's not like it's like a hey, battle your way through it type deal.
Would he travel to UCLA?
He'll be having surgery. Yeah. He was out there at practice last night, with TJ, working with TJ, and wants to be a part of everything. But the most important thing for him right now is to get healed. So he wants to go to UCLA, and I told him he can't go.
Regarding TJ, what are the key questions in your mind as you get ready for the week?
I think making sure that we put together a plan that he's comfortable with everything that he needs to do. As I said, I think guys are going to have to do a great job of being strong around him. But I mean, even in the game, like he came out with a check on down in the red zone, and he checked it. He saw 0. He checked it to a tunnel screen. Jacory's wide open. Is going to walk in. He just dropped the snap, and so he's mentally though at a really really high level. And so he just needs reps. When you're the backup quarterback, you're getting reps, but not as many. And so now he needs reps. Jalen needs reps, and anybody else we use at quarterback will need reps this week.
Does Marcos then go to the third spot, like your third traveling quarterback?
Yes, sir.
With Dylan, how would you summarize what he got done and how he helped the program this year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I think Mitch asked me a great question. I didn't know how to answer. Like, hey, I thought we were in a great spot in that game. Like, we had done a great job of establishing the line of scrimmage, running the football, not taking sacks, and I felt like, we got to that point where, like, hey, we were going to be able to really kind of open up in the second half and kind of take off. And, but Dylan, to me, when Dylan decided to come here, he legitimized coming to Nebraska on the national recruiting scene, and that's allowed us to get other big-time players. He played as a freshman, which is, you have all the accolades and you take all the arrows. He came in this year. He was better. He was in better shape. He's grown as a leader. And as miserable as this time's going to be for him, this is a really good time for him as well. He's going to have a chance for once to sit there and watch. I think that's really valuable for when you don't have the pressure of playing. You get to sit there and watch and learn. I know he'll be involved in game planning and ideas, and he'll rally around TJ. I mean, it's just such a. I got a text from TJ's dad saying, hey, on behalf of our, please don't let Dylan know how much we care about him. Then I got a text from Dylan, can I please go travel for TJ? And then and then it's just he's just such a great teammate. And if you watched it, after he got hurt, every single player on our team, I think, went up to Dylan and hugged him and said, hey, we got you. And no one knew what it was at the time. They just thought it was an ankle. So I think when you have a player that gets that much notoriety and accolades, and he's as humble and as team as Dylan is, it sets the tone for everybody in the building.
How did TJ Lateef win the backup job back in training camp? And you've been through this before with true freshmen and other places. How do you prepare a true freshman for this season?
Yeah, I think. I think he's really smart. So he was always on time, always knows the progressions, always knows the checks. So you can trust him in those things. He's got amazing arm talent. He can spin it, and he can run. He can move. So I think when you're playing, young players. Pat Stewart had mentioned this to me like a couple weeks ago, just in the NFL. One of the guys he was with the Patriots with had said, if you want to draft a quarterback and play him young, he better be able to run because the game goes fast and you have to move. Even in the game the other day, you saw TJ was able to run some zone read RPO plays. The guy wasn't open. He was able to run. He was able to run on some plays. And so I think he was able to just kind of bring a little bit of all that to light. And so, this week to me is not about TJ, at least my message to our guys. It's about everyone else making this where every single person has to do their job at such a high level that TJ can just do his job and not try to do anything more. But TJ can do his job. He's an excellent player, and I think everyone's going to see him play really, really well.
How do you go about starting to talk with him or prepare him at all for not just the fact that it's his first start, but that it's at the Rose Bowl right where he grew up.
Yeah, I think we have, is it 8 guys? 8 guys? 6 guys, excuse me, going back home, to California, which I think is cool. And I think California is an area we want to continue to recruit. USC, we were before the game, we had a bunch of kids from California. USC's coaches were kind of creeping over to them. I told them, get away from the guys. I mean, good for them. Those are great guys on that coaching staff. I don't mean that in any way other than just being funny. But I think it's going to be exciting for TJ. One of the things that has impressed me the most about him since he's been here is just his humility. He's just one of the guys. He's just a great young man. I mean, he gets good grades. He's never on a list. He's never in trouble. His family's awesome. And so, I coached him on Sunday like he was a veteran. I mean, I showed the opportunities we could have had. Hey, if you do this. Because I want him to know that I have so much confidence in him that I'm going to coach him like Dylan. And, Sam asked a great question after the game where he said, hey, maybe could you guys have taken a couple more shots? Well, they were called, and sometimes they were there. And whether it was protection, whether it was he ran instead. And so TJ's our starting quarterback now, and he's a starting quarterback in Nebraska. So when I talk about people respecting us nationally, it's part of that is us too. Like he's got to go play the way guys play, and I can't wait to see him play. I mean, for me, that's why I talked about this time for us. Like, okay, Matt, you think you're a good coach? Okay, Dana, you think you're a good coach? Now go do this. Go win these games. Go take a freshman on the road twice and come back and play your rival. And that's, either our team, like I said, they either go like this or they come together like this. And so, either you're with us or you're not. And that's everywhere. I mean, either you're with us or you're not. And so what I've seen is our guys all be with us, and I love it. They're coming together. They're rallying around him. And it would just be so average, Mitch, to go out there and be like, well, we got a freshman quarterback and it is what it is. No, we're not doing that. We got TJ Lateef, and we're going to rally around him.
How's Emmett's body been holding up with the workload through 9 games?
It's amazing. I mean, we were out there practicing last night and he's out there flying around. I mean, he doesn't take he's really evolved. Doesn't take a lot of direct big shots. He does such a good job at the point of contact of cutting back and avoiding. You talk about a story now. This guy's one of 2 players in the country with 1,000 yards rushing, right? I think he's second in the Big Ten in rushing, or leads the Big Ten in rushing. Second. So, I just really proud of him, and I think every game I still wish we'd get the ball to Mosey and Mackay a little bit more. I mean, I think they've earned those opportunities, but the guy, he's just hot, and so we went into that game knowing, hey, in this weather and we wanted to really establish the run early and then let that open up. Even that last drive of the first half, we went down and scored the touchdown. You started to see us open it up a little bit and throw the football. But no, Emmett looks great, looks healthy.
What is the conversation like in your mind? You only gave up 21 points, you shut down their passing game, but you gave up 200 yards rushing. How do you reconcile all that? How do you think through that?
Yeah, so I'm never going to be okay giving up 200 yards rushing. But this is like last week, you guys kept asking me about, this is one of the most prolific offenses in football coming off a bye with everyone healthy. And Notre Dame was able to hold them to 396. We held them to 337. What I showed our team was there were 6 plays. Okay, so we stopped them on second. On third down, they threw a big fade. They then ran a zone read, which got into his job, unfortunately, and they ran it. They ran a zone read again. They ran a 2-point play. Then they got the ball back. They threw an incomplete pass, and then they threw a flea flicker. So in 6 plays, they had 107 yards. And what our team needs to do, and what our coaches need to do, and what I need to get us to do is settle down on those 6 plays once things start going bad against us and just play the next play a little bit more focused and not worry about everything. So we gave up 337 yards. We gave up 107 of those yards in 6 straight plays. If they don't get the pass interference in the end zone, put the ball at the 2, I mean, we were playing good red zone defense, which was one of our challenges this week. We held them to 2 field goals early on. DPIs in the end zone, they put the ball at the 2. That's difficult sledding, obviously. But if we were able to stop that one, but no, yeah. So we're not going to ever be okay with 200 yards rushing, and it's not like we're sitting there in a light box playing pass. We're playing the run, but they ran the quarterback, and we had a quarterback player. We got to make those plays. But it was just they're an excellent running offense, and we knew it was going to be a challenge all night. And I was really proud of the guys. They tackled well. The least amount of yards after contact we've had in several weeks. So they had their best week of practice, preparation, everything, and they showed up to play. And wish I could have helped them get 4 more points.
That said, UCLA this week will challenge you with another running quarterback. What have you seen from Nico and how much they run him? And Just the challenge will be to kind of slow him down.
Yeah, he's elite. He's an excellent player. Obviously he leads them in passing. He leads them in rushing. So it's really a tale of two seasons. You take out the first part of the year, right? They're 3-2 in the Big Ten. They're 3-2 under Coach Skipper. The Penn State game, he was their leading rusher. He willed them, and it was really not even design runs. It was drop back, quarterback scrambles versus man and versus I wouldn't even not even like undisciplined passing lanes. He's just that athletic. They were running him some design quarterback runs earlier. He started getting hit a lot. I'm sure coming off a bye, there'll be some design quarterback runs. And so I have the utmost respect for him as a player. His dad was here this summer at the Adidas 7-on-7. He was a great guy to get to know, great to know. We recruited his younger brother. So I have a lot of respect for the way he plays. And they have got receivers who can get open. They've got an excellent run game. They've got a good athletic defense. But he's an elite player. And so it'll be the same challenge as last week, a guy who could do it all. So he did some things last night. He battled through it. So I think this week will just come down to, if he's ready to play or not. And Turner's beat up at this point. Tyler, they all are. Our bye weeks next week, but there's no time to even think about bye weeks right now. So I'm assuming that Elijah will get himself ready to play.
Who's behind Knack and Corcoran and tackle?
So you got Elijah, Tyler, and Turner, and then the next up is Preston Tomua. So Preston's been repping at left tackle last couple weeks, and when we were going to go some of our jumbo stuff, he was going to go in and play. So he's really developed. Grant Bricks would be at the right tackle, he'd be at the left tackle. So those guys they're coming along.
Those guys have kind of moved around a little bit in their careers, right? They played a little guard, a little tackle.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just kind of been a war of attrition with some of the other positions. Like you might be. A guy like Preston, he might be best suited at 335 pounds to be a guard, but he's so athletic he can play tackle. So you start him off at, hey, what's your best position? But as we've had this run of injuries and all these things, so Gunner's having surgery, so he's done for the year. So always Teddy's done for the year. So as you have those injuries, other guys have to step up. Knee, and not an ACL or anything. I think cartilage meniscus, that type of stuff.
Coach, I don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like on Saturday, but is it still a cool deal for your kids and even you as a coach to coach in the Rose Bowl?
You'd have to ask the players. I don't know if they watch anime or watch football now. It depends on who it is. I was a GA at UCLA. It was one of the best times. Julie and I had no kids. We were so poor. We didn't have enough money to get this is true now, get the pilot light turned on in our house. So we had no heat, no electricity, but you didn't really need it. We had a 1-bedroom apartment. I got a little motor scooter because you could park for free on campus. She was the breadwinner. She she had a great job for us. And it was just her and I, and so I finished my master's degree at UCLA. I met some amazing people. I loved it there. I got to meet John Wooden, and just got to sit there and talk with him. Just one of the most, I was raised on Joe Paterno time, and so the thing started at like 8 a.m. and so I was there at 7:30. Not a lot of other people were there at 7:30. So he spent like 20 minutes talking to me where I was from, and at the end of it, there's 200 people in the room. And as I was walking out, he said, "Give my best to Julie, Matt." Like just the most amazing man. So, yeah, for me, going back to UCLA and going back to the Rose Bowl, as a player at Penn State, we went to the Rose Bowl. I didn't play in the game, but I was there. And then I had a chance to coach there under Coach Snow. It'll be awesome. And I worked with Kelly Skipper, Tim Skipper's brother. He was our running back coach. And so I think Tim's doing a great job. And Jerry Neuheisel, the OC, is doing a great job. So they've got things rolling. So it'll be an unbelievable battle, an unbelievable challenge.
You mentioned watching back the film, there were some guys you felt were playing their best football. Any specific guys that stood out in that way?
I'd say across the board on defense. I mean, it was by far defensively I don't want to single anybody out because like Rex Guthrie made plays, Donovan Jones made plays, our linebackers all made plays, our D line came off striking, getting off blocks. I mean, you saw Keelan flashing, you saw Petchak. I think you could see him really accelerating his. He's got it figured out now. So. When I talk about planting seeds, like those guys, like they played early, they're trying to figure it out. And now you're starting to see it come to fruition. I thought our offensive line, to have 188 yards rushing and literally in the second half, I mean, it was just like they put everyone down there and we still continue to make plays. I was proud of them. Luke Lindemeyer, and just across the board. I mean, Jacory, you wish Jacory had more production because he was wide open a couple of times, but just couldn't quite make the plays happen. But they all flashed and played hard and. So we'll have to just do it again, but do it better this week.
After Minnesota, you said good teams don't lose back-to-back games. by the way, is a great quote Steve Kerr always says. What's the message that you have for the team this week?
Yeah, so, to me, why do you lose back-to-back games when you're still living in the past and you're letting that upset you, letting a loss, they always say as coaches, like, don't never let a loss beat you twice. You're thinking about last week. We quickly moved on from last week. No, we went through the tape. Like, we came in, we practiced. And that's why I say I didn't sleep that night, right? Because it's like, I always say to myself, if I feel that way, like after Minnesota, I was angry. I wanted to fight somebody because of the way I thought we had conducted ourselves. I was disappointed in this game because I thought we battled and we had really tough situations, whether it's the pass interference in the end zone or whether it's, Dylan going down or whatever. And the guys I kept seeing them rally and taking it to another level and fighting, so I was proud of the effort, but not, the result's not good enough. And so I think the key to us was to tell the guys, like, hey, you had your best week of all this. You've gotten better every week with your preparation. It showed up in the game. You have to now do that again, and you have to do it even better this week. And so you can't go through the motions. And I think the message for our guys about, rallying around each other and making it about us. And when I say us, I'm talking about all of us. I'm not just saying the football team. I'm talking about all of us. Like, you're with us or you're not, right? And so, like, that crowd, like, not many people have that crowd that we had. And I know right now we're going to go out to the Rose Bowl, and we're going to have, like, this is the most ticket requests for me. My wife sends in a ticket request. This is the most tickets I've ever had to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everyone's excited to be there, and then we have friends out there, and people are going out. So I just know that it's an unbelievable opportunity, and we're going to be grateful for the fact that we get a chance to go play a hot UCLA team in the Rose Bowl, 8:00 at night, in front of a huge Husker crowd. So I think it's not living in the past, but just always saying what's next and moving on to the future and being grateful for the future that you have.
Back to the key fourth down situation in the previous game. Why was the first time out on that sequence called?
So, great question. So, we had decided that we were going to come out and we thought we could make them jump. You know what I'm saying? So we said, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to do it, we're going to try to make them jump. And they didn't jump. And so I didn't want to take the 5-yard penalty and punt it. I said, hey, we're probably going to go for this. And then just, reps and things that TJ had done and all those different things, it just felt like as they were talking, I just felt like, you know what, take the points here. Was that the right call? Well, it didn't go through the uprights, right? So I said in front of the team yesterday, I said, hey, I have to own that I made that call and I made that decision. But, we go in the game with one plan on 4th and 1 in those sort of areas. And then as the injury happened and just, hey, what does TJ have reps in? What does he not have reps in? I just made the call at, hey, you know what, we're going to go with this. And so,
series, like if the clock was running down and you were talking to the refs.
Yeah. Well, no, that had nothing to do with the refs. I thought they should have pumped the clock, right? Because they had shoved one of our players down. There was some stuff going on. I just thought they'd pump the clock, and so, getting the play call in, he's using the wristband, getting it out, all those different things, them all being lined up, and so I was yelling at the ref to pump it. Like, they pump it. They whatever, doesn't matter. They pump it most of the time, and they didn't pump it. And I'm sitting there, so then he got the snap off in time. So again, I have to own, but I just didn't want to take. I thought we were in good position, and with him on the plus side of 50, I said, I'm going to use this timeout. I'm gonna just settle it all down. At the end of the day, I hate using timeouts. I usually just take the penalty. At the end, I don't know that the penalties hurt us because we still had the ball with a chance to go in, and but it still wasn't what I would have liked. But sometimes when you guys ask me those questions, I'd have to start throwing people under the bus. Well, this guy didn't get this, and I don't really want to do that. So I'd rather just say it's me. But as we sit here now, it's just really like the clock, and I thought the official was going to pump it, and when he did, and I started yelling at him, they had just knocked one of our guys down, and there was an altercation. Like, come on, let's just pump it and play football. So.
With this trip to UCLA, will you guys do anything different? Like Maryland, you guys went out a day earlier. Is this a standard trip with a night game?
Standard trip. Yeah, when I worked for Tom Coughlin, every time we went to the West Coast, we just went out and we kept everything on our time. That was before iPhones, and it changed the time for you. So everyone just kept their old BlackBerry or whatever on the East Coast time. And, going east is a lot harder, obviously, but going west is a lot easier because we'll get there and, and it'll be, we'll leave here at 1, we'll get there at 1:30, So once you get there, though, the traffic, the drive, there'll all be challenges. But, yeah, we'll go out Friday. We found out, obviously, after the game that it was going to be a night game. So, obviously, we'll get back really late Sunday. I'll give the guys Sunday off afterwards so that they can, we'll probably won't get back till 5 or 6 a.m. so they can sleep.
With TJ, you've mentioned before Glenn Thomas holds those guys, not Dylan. to the same standard as Dylan. How much is that useful at this moment, I guess?
I think it's great, and you know, there's our process. A lot of guys when they come in, they're struggling with it. They're used to like, hey, in a period, hey, we'll give 10 reps to the ones and 4 or 5 reps to the twos, and we don't do that. We give equal reps to the ones and twos, and I think you can see why now, right? Because now you have your backup right tackle, you have your backup left tackle, you have your backup quarterback, and thankfully they've been getting reps all year, so they've been trained. Now in game week, the quarterback gets a few more reps, so I'm hopeful this week. And we'll probably give TJ some more reps this week just to make sure he feels really good about everything that we're doing. That's, I told the team last night, like, hey, I know it was a late game, but we're going to go out and practice tonight. I think TJ needs that, and every guy was like, yeah, they do.
You talked a lot about Sierra. So has John. But can you comment on the job that he did on Lemon Saturday night, and how maybe it's sometimes hard to judge him because the stats aren't there since nobody's throwing at him?
Yeah. I think when you're a really good corner, a really good DB, you shouldn't have a lot of stats. Now, what happens is sometimes in college football, there's a lot of teams that play a lot of zone coverage, and so guys will have 4 or 5 picks. You see it sometimes when guys come up in the portal. To be quite honest with you, Mitch, like they'll say this guy has 6 picks, and you watch him, and then you watch his man-to-man reps. You're like, wait, he's not really a great cover guy. This ball got tipped, and he caught it because they're all playing with vision to the quarterback. We play probably 60 to 70% man or match coverages, and so our eyes are on the DBs, and so that's why I said to Sip earlier, like it's not like we're sitting there playing with light boxes and trying to defend the pass. We're playing man, you know what I mean, and just saying, hey, we're going to try to defend the run and stop you. So I think Sierra's been fantastic. I think Donnie, Mar, all those guys in the back end have played really, really good football. Rex Guthrie stepping up, but Sierra, when you play, he made the move to go into nickel, and when you play nickel, you have to defend the run. You have to be able to go play a half. You have to be able. So he does a little bit of everything. But Mekhi Lemon's one of the best players in the Big 10, in the Big 10, and I thought Sierra played him really well, and really proud of him.
Has Merritt been dinged up? Dawson Merritt?
Yeah. He was questionable for the game. Got banged up last week in practice, so I'm hopeful maybe we can have him this week. I am not sure though as of right now. He didn't go last night. We'll see if he goes tomorrow.
Was Cortez Mills available last week too?
Yeah, I believe he was out there at one point. So.
What about Quentin Nye?
Eyes pulled his hamstring late in the week, so he was. We warmed him up before the game, tried to get him moving around, and just wasn't able to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.